You hear all that? The night is being super chatty off in the distance. It is just happening out there. Hopefully it's happening right below us in the water. So when this video is going live at 4 a.m., it will be Friday. This is just right before Friday. So tomorrow morning, I'm waking up at some time, hopefully early, and then I'm headed to B&B Tackle for a tent sale with B&B Tackle and Grundon's. I'm gonna be there all day. I'll be drinking coffee. It's gonna be nice, but not hot. There'll be a lot of deals. There's gonna be some barbecue, as far as I'm told, from Highway 23 Barbecue. Looking forward to that. Yeah, you're right. So that's Friday the 22nd and Saturday the 23rd this week. By the time you're watching this tomorrow, I may already be there, hanging out, talking shop. Yeah, you're right. Come on down. If you miss it on Friday, you can try to hit it on Saturday. Yeah, you're right. Come on, let's catch some fish.
One of the few guys I fish with, Mr. Input, he's out there already getting set up.
Oh yes. Oh, they're here. They're here. Didn't even take my nibble. You recognize the spot, right? Some of you most certainly do. Some of you may not because you're new. This is a culvert I've been coming to for Sakale, and last night we had a cold front come through. I wanted to come out here last night. I was tired. Friends were tired. So we didn't make it out here last night. But here we are. It got down into the 40s last night, and it's probably going to do that tonight too. But there was a lot of north wind in the beginning of last night. So it was kind of like, do we wanna stay in? Do we want to be cozy, or do we want to come out? Yeah, it probably would have been really good last night, but definitely good tonight. This is, yeah, good sign. Like first cast out there, got a takedown. And of course, the guy that was in the background sounded like what's that actor's name?
I'm not sure, sir.
The one you sound like. You sound like Burroughs, and that guy had a baby. What's that, Josh Brogan or Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen. That's
okay.
what you sound and look like.
I've been told that a couple times. Oh, man.
You sound like Seth Rogen and Burroughs blended together in the background.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or be a little offended by that.
Either way is fine with me. You should take it as a compliment. It depends on, I don't know how you feel about Seth Rogen. You're more like the Pineapple Express Pineapple Express Seth Rogen than some of the other Seth Rogen movies.
Right.
Or like, was he in Tropic Thunder?
No, that's Jack Black.
Jack Black was in Tropic Thunder?
Yes. What? Yeah, that was Jack Black, RDJ, Ben Stiller.
Right, some of those are correct. I didn't know Jack Black was in that. I've not watched Tropic Thunder in its entirety. I've watched some of it. I've tried to sit down and watch it actually, and I don't know. I didn't like it. I've seen some clips I thought were funny, but
he's the fat guy in it.
I don't know.
He was the fat guy in it.
Right, I know. I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen some clips that I thought were funny, but I don't know. It's kind of boring getting into those clips if you're watching the whole movie. To me, I know a lot of people like it, but there's a lot of movies that people really love that I don't like Freddy Got Fingered.
I've I've never seen that one.
It's not my cup of tea. I don't know. It's just like, I find it kind of cringe for some reason.
It sounds like it would be a weird, cringy movie.
Oh, for a lot of people, absolutely. What's that guy's name? That guy, he married that lady. I don't know. That's really specific.
In the dark here.
He married that. What's it? And their house burned down. What's her name? And she was like. If I keep talking about it, I remember her name. She was famous when she was a kid, and she just kind of kept getting famous. But when she was really young, she got addicted to scripts, and some famous rock star helped her get off the scripts. Like one of the Allman Brothers, or not the Allman Brothers, one of the... everybody knows who I'm talking about. What's it, Tom Green? I think it's Tom Green. And he married, what was that girl's name he married? She comes from, like, everyone in her family is, like, connected to, like, hippy-dippy California rock star kind of people, you know, like.
No idea.
Yeah.
I don't really keep up.
I guess we can't all be cool. I got it. Crosby. That's who helped her get off drugs. The Crosby, Steele, and Nash. That's who it was. You never heard of them? All right. See, it's not that you're not cool. You're just not as cool as an old person like me.
There it is. Just not as cultured.
Right. See, I'm older than you, but that doesn't mean I suffer from boomerism more than you.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I'm not saying that you suffer from boomerisms, but have you ever met someone who was like much younger than you, and it's obvious, you know, the fact is that they're not a boomer, but on some days you have to question it because they suffer from a lot of boomerism. So we've had several bites, several takedowns. We're talking about pop culture and stuff like that.
Boomers and whatnot.
Yeah, there's a lot of boomerisms in the world.
I don't know, man. I feel kind of bad for the next gen. I don't think they can be boomers. They're too.
Anybody can be a boomer. Boomerisms are not exclusive to boomers. Some boomerisms, you know, are not that egregious.
Like which ones?
When you walk into the grocery store and you just stop all of a sudden. That seems pretty bad, right?
It seems very boomerish, but I mean, I know that feeling. I do it quite often.
We're seeing young people do that today when I walked in the grocery store. They're just younger than me, and they stopped right there. Like, all of a sudden, the door's open, they'd step in, and they're just like, it's like freeze frame. I'm like, okay, let me go around you.
I tend to just walk in, and as soon as I get through the threshold of outside to inside, I completely forget why I'm there. I don't remember any of the list I have, so I just kind of wander around for about 10 minutes until I'm like, oh, whoa, I need this, I need that.
That's not that bad because, you know, you're not driving something. It's when all of a sudden people stop in the road for whatever reason to like look on their phone, they're lost or whatever they're doing.
I don't do that, but I do turn down the radio so I can see where I'm going better.
You turn down the radio?
Yep, so I can see where I'm going better. I do that.
That makes sense. I can think of a boomerism that's not that bad, that you can say is not the most egregious boomerism. You go in the grocery store and you Google the product instead of scanning the QR code.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Well, I admit
a couple times.
I'm most likely to do that. I absolutely hate QR codes. One thing you could say it's a boomerism, a boomer thing. and I'm not a boomer. This is something I do.
Are you technically not a boomer though?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm a Gen Xer. I was born in the 70s. So, I absolutely hate having to download your Lions Raptor. I hate having to download apps to do stuff.
Not where I want it to be at.
And then you end up with like all these apps on your phone, and you only use them once in a while. Like say when you're traveling, instead of getting a paper ticket, you have to download an app to travel on a particular train system or something. Or it's just everybody's got an app and they all want you to download it. Oh, there you go. There you go. They're here. Look at that. It looks a little small though, that one. Oh, it's on. We got man down, flopping here.
Hey, calm down, buddy. Calm down, buddy.
They don't speak good English, so he probably didn't understand what you were saying. See, kind of small. Like, I was wondering if they were going to come out bigger, but they've been lately. The last time I was here, we were getting a lot like this. There you go, my friend.
Nope, I mean.
Oh, boomer donkey in the background.
Sound too happy back there. Oh,
wrong hole.
I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but coyotes are going ballistic because of this donkey in the background. So, got the power beat crappy nibbles, and what is this what color are these? Chroma glow.
Drew Barrymore was the chick that, I think it's Tom Green, right? They were married for a while, and it seemed like a fake marriage, may have been real, but then their house burned down. Seemed like it was.
You know, like I've heard about that.
It was suspicious, like something that they planned to like stay relevant. Tom Green was one of those like edgy, cringy comedians that was on MTV. That's how, like, that was his boost for his career, right? We're about to get a fish. You're about to get a takedown. He's with me. Ah, no. Maybe that was a gar. There was something right there. I took my nibble. That maybe was not a gar. But yeah, my cork didn't go under. My cork was lisping. Yeah, I never really liked Tom Green. I lost a lot of respect. Well, I never really had any respect for him. But I saw him do something a long time ago. It was on MTV. This is before YouTube existed. I think it was the 90s or the early 2000s. Late 90s, early 2000s. But what he did that irritated me, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to give two shits about anything you do now. He was, it was like, nuisance creators today, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that nuisance content. He's like an original nuisance content creator, right? But it was on MTV. Mm-hmm. He goes to a park, like this Japanese gardens park, but not in Japan. I think it was somewhere in California, and they had all these koi fish, and he was catching them and slamming them on the ground, and then filleting them and cooking them right there in front of tourists.
There's
that was just, I thought, egregious, and I was like, this is not entertaining. This is just kind of BS. Okay, let's see if we get another one here.
There's a streamer that recently, well, I think it was about a year ago maybe. Yeah, went out to Japan, and he was just going up to the locals and yelling like Nagasaki and Hiroshima in their face and stuff like that. Just,
yes,
taunting them. And
there's been quite a few of those lately.
Well, he went to I want to say it was South Korea. He went to South Korea.
You're talking about Johnny Somali.
Oh, yeah,
he's facing I
don't know if I want to put names.
They arrested
there,
him.
He's
facing multiple years
or something like
yeah.
That. Yeah. I mean, I hope he gets it. I hope they throw the book at him. He deserves it. They drug tested him,
and I think he had cannabis in his system, but I don't know when it entered the system. But they're charging him for that, I think. But they also charge him, like the initial charge, I believe, was from the stream where he's in 7-Eleven drinking and throwing ramen noodles and dancing and screaming and all this stuff. He was throwing ramen noodles, I think, at people and the wall.
Him and Jack Doherty are like the two biggest POS streamers in the world. Honestly, they're two dudes that no matter how much they could get beat up or assaulted in public, I don't think anybody would care.
What the problem with people like this is they influence other people because they're trying to achieve clout, and
they're
they just
negative on society.
They have no moral standards for. There we go. No moral standards for how they obtain that clout. No limits, right? This is a nice one. This is a good one. That's a keeper. Look at that slab. Look at that slab. Yes.
Mark's just out here showing me up as usual.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna keep this one. Huh. We are going to change because look, this bait's getting tore up. I don't know if maybe a gar earlier, like I was saying, was messing with it, but the bait's getting tore up. So that is a triple. It's a curly tail, but as you could see at the end of the curly tail, it is cut into 3 pieces. That's why we call that a triple tail, curly tail. Put that trash in my pocket and get a new one out. So they're by Big Bite. Relatively speaking, tonight's session is going to be short because I have to get up and go to an event. I don't want to oversleep too badly an event that I've been promoting, but I need a video at the same time. So it is just after 7 o'clock right now, and the bite is really good for that time because the cold front that came through last night was fairly significant, and I am pleased that finally I've got a slab out of here. Like I said the last time I was here, not a lot of slabs, mostly small, but it seems like there's a lot of small ones hidden. He just, yeah, you know, that was a small one he just pulled out. So because we're not going to be here too long, yeah, I always have good conversations with Dustin. We're gonna have.
Help that it's small and the cold, man.
But we're not gonna spend too much time in this video with the conversation. But yeah, sometimes when you go fishing with a friend, you have conversation. Well, when you go fishing with me, there's conversation. When I'm fishing by myself, there's conversation. When I'm asleep, there's conversation. I don't, like you just said, Dustin just said that he doesn't keep up with Hollywood, you know, and I think a lot of us are more and more like that these days. We don't care about Hollywood, but there's a lot of people that Hollywood churns out that become irrelevant, and then all of a sudden they arise all of a sudden in wanting relevancy, or they think they're relevant but they're not, but then they get up on a stage and endorse somebody when they know nothing about anything. Or they get paid to get up there, like Beyonce or somebody, or Eminem or something.
Dropping now. Oh. But no, I know what you mean. I mean, not to say that Beyonce wasn't relevant. I don't want her and her cult to come after me or nothing. Johnny
Somali wasn't relevant until he started throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what stuck.
But I mean,
because you know what a lot of those nuisance creators are actually doing? They're copycatting each other. Yeah. Johnny Somali wasn't the first one to go dance on the train, or like all the stuff he's doing. None of that's original. Other people were doing it. Someone else influenced him. It's just clout chasing.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're a net negative on society, honestly, because they influence the younger generation to follow and do the same stuff.
That's what all these Hollywood people thought they were doing, but then they got kicked out of the club. You know, they don't have as much influence as they used to, like your Mark Knoblers or.
I want to see that Diddy list, that full Diddy list that's going to come out. That's the one I want to see.
Yeah.
Those very influential people in his circle.
There's a lot of lists that would be revealing, right? The Diddy list, the Epstein list.
Yeah.
The M. Hood fishing list.
Oh, well, I didn't know you had that kind of list, buddy.
I got some lists. I had one today.
You had a list today?
Yeah. When I went into the grocery store, I had a shopping list.
Oh, bet that was a shocking kind of list right there.
Not so much.
No?
It was
Veggies?
It was fairly, on the parameter, the outer parameter of the store.
When you get like the veggie section and you switch.
I walked through it. I didn't need any today.
Okay.
But yeah, I had to. The outer perimeter gets you to a lot of foods that aren't too processed. But there are stuff inside in the aisles that are good. That don't have a lot of chemicals. We were talking about. Alex and I, we were talking about the RFK effect. He doesn't believe me. I'm making a joke when I say it, but he took me seriously. I was like, hey, have you noticed the RFK effect in the grocery store? He's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, go over to the egg section and look at the prices. The worst eggs, the chickens that are raised in little cages in warehouses full of thousands and thousands of chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're pumped with like all kinds of chemicals and hormones. Those eggs are the most expensive right now. And the cage free and the free range and organic, including kosher eggs, are a lot cheaper than those eggs, than the normal eggs that most people usually can afford, right? Mm-hmm. It's usually the opposite. And I was pulling Alex's leg. I was like, that's the RFK effect. And he's like, no, RFK didn't do that. He didn't bring down the price of eggs. Well, what it is, I think, is bird flu, right? There's a bird flu going around. And that's why, because, like cage-free and free-range chickens, they're less perceptive. I mean, bird flu doesn't affect them as much because the environment they're raised in, that they live in, is a lot better than, bird flu can just spread like crazy in those battery farms. But the RFK effect in the grocery store is like people being more aware of what's in their food. They're looking at the labels and it's taking time because they're pulling out their phone and Googling stuff, or they're scanning QR codes. That's what the RFK effect is, because and some of the things he talks about might seem a little off the wall, but other things he talks about just give you awareness, right? Like with your food.
Garbage, man. They're feeding us garbage.
There's a lot of garbage. I mean, some of them food dyes are banned in a lot of countries, but not here. I don't want to get
you shadow banned on YouTube for telling the truth or nothing like that, but as a whole, the outreach of the government into our food industry is to keep us, fat and lazy. As a fat person, I'll be the first to admit is that,
if you guys aren't aware,
I'm pretty fat.
He's pretty fat.
Yeah, I'm not skinny.
And
I'll be the first to call it out.
That's what I was saying. Pineapple Express, Seth Rogen over there, but
they want us.
The Louisiana style.
Like this. Yeah, they want us to be like this. They want us fat, lazy, and more susceptible to diseases, injuries, because it keeps us from questioning them so much.
When I was growing up, when someone said, "Oh, you're eating good," that didn't mean that. Oh, you got one coming in. Oh, look, he got one coming in. He got one coming in.
Not a small one, unfortunately.
Back when I was growing up, there was no internet or anything. And when someone said, oh, that's not bad. That's a good one. That's a good one. So when someone said, oh, he's eating good, that didn't mean
he popped me
that he's eating healthy. eating good back then did not necessarily mean healthy. It just meant that you could afford to eat food. You know, like you had steaks and lobster, and or it could have been all junk food, but you weren't stuck eating boiled cabbage and potatoes.
I'm pretty sure he swallowed my lure.
Yeah, eating good was not necessarily the opposite of eating bad. Eating good today, maybe when someone says that, they mean eating healthy, but maybe not. Maybe they mean you're able to eat what you want to eat, and that might not be healthy food, but we all deserve to know what's in our food. There's a lot of things they put in the food that just seem to make us sick, and that could be in this water too. So you always want to make sure that you're not consuming more. I mean, there's a criteria to it. Each state, usually each state will have consumption guidelines, because like even this particular water I'm fishing tonight, it could have bad stuff in it because it drains a whole municipality, right? We're higher up on it, but further down it, there's the whole town of Belle Chasse drains into it. So there could be all kinds. We could have all kinds of things in this water. There are places in America where the water is just totally polluted with PCBs and other things such as heavy metals and whatnot.
Let me let you go. Oh, you're gone.
It's another nice one right there. Look at that. That is good too, a decent one. I've caught bigger slabs out of here, but that's definitely a keeper. That's my third keeper. Not bad. See how their mouths tear once you hook them? See how thin that mouth is? These used to be called paper mouths in some places more than they are now. That name for them, that term for them, isn't widely used, but it's a regional. I forget where that is. Is it Arkansas? Somewhere a little north of here. Paper mouths was a popular name for them. Not so much these days, but you could see why they would call them a paper mouth. It's 8:34 right now, and I don't think I'm gonna allow myself to stay out here. We'll say past 10, but we'll see. Dustin has been doing pretty good, but he's only kept one, and I've got 3 in there. I think he's had more than 3 catches, I think. Triple shot energy, so I can get back to yakety yak. Well, we'll see, but anyway, it should be tasty. Bold mocha. I'm starting to see sockeye more often. Some out on the edge of the light, and then quite a few inside, just in random places. Or this feels like a nice one coming up. It feels big. It's not a tank. That's, I don't know. It's like not big. It's probably the smallest one I've got, and it's only number 4. It definitely appreciated, but definitely gonna go back.
YouTube's just missing out on a great conversation.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is a shell cracker. That's a red ear. Yeah, you're right. All right, so. Oh, wait a minute. Yes. That is what that is. That's pretty cool. Goodbye. It is really, really close to 10 o'clock, and that's my shut off. That's when I want to say, but I'm not going to say it quite yet. Yeah, you're right. So, real quick, everybody's talking about spooky, creepy things. Attack 'em, snack 'ems, World War III, Ukraine, nuclear bombs, all these things like that. That's just the crazy talk at the moment. It could come true. Yeah, you're right. It's not a reason to stop paying the bills, stop paying rent, or run around in your underwear like people seem to think he's been doing. You been running around in your underwear?
I don't run around in no underwear, man.
Or running around in no underwear.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes it's nice to run around in your underwear or get flat to the earth and look up at the sky. That's what I'm saying. It's time to get out there and live your life, but not do it to the extreme to where you end up locked up for 15 or 20 something years like Johnny Somali in South Korea, or even spending a night in the clink. Get out there and enjoy yourself, but don't quit your job. Yeah, you're right, because a nuclear dust cloud could come in and screw it all up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's time to live life and enjoy yourself, because it could got caught short any second for any reason. It might not even be something like Ukraine. It could be a bus. It could be something the doctor says to you you didn't want to hear. Something like that. But yeah, you're right. Be sure to come on down and have conversations like this with me, or fishing. Yeah, lots of fishing, because that's what's up. That's what I'm mostly going to be thinking about tomorrow when I look at what's on sale. And I'm going to be eating some barbecue. And yeah, you're right. Tent sale. B&B Tackle, Belle Chasse, Louisiana. Grundon's, Highway 23 barbecue. They're right here in town. It's supposed to be really, really good. Haven't had it yet. Looking forward to it. Friday and Saturday, the 22nd and the 23rd. Yeah, you're right. 9 to 6. Can't miss it when you're coming down. Once you get off the bridge, if you go too far past Domino's, you weren't looking hard enough. You should see that tent right as you see Domino's. That tent's going to be on the other side of the water. And yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, being a member of the channel. And yeah, you're right. I'll see you next time.